If every human alive was piled into the Grand Canyon, Japan University is offering ninja studies degree. I did not see you in class yesterday. Thank you, sir. 4 years ago, my physics class and I made a chair ball. Every chair in the room is balanced on one. This girl is really 32 years old, but she has to flash her ID about 32 times a day to prove that's her real age. I do not believe this. How to kill an introvert, starve him to death by putting a stranger in his kitchen. I hate math, too confusing. It's been 9 years. I hope you're doing great in life now. It could not be going worse, Keith. Sushi date. Eating them in front of their family is crazy. If you live to be 100, you should just make up some fake reason why, just to mess with people. Like claim you ate a pine cone every single day. Rat ultrasound. How is she going to pay for that? Her husband works in a restaurant. The black-footed cat is the deadliest wild cat in the world. They only weigh 2 to 6 pounds, but they can take down more prey in a single night than a leopard does in 6 months. He's just a little man though, a tiny guy. This tracked motorcycle from 1939. Lucas knows what you did. I know what you did. I got this tank top on Amazon and they sent me a dress. On the plus side, it does make my butt look great. The tusks of a woolly mammoth are being unearthed from a Siberian riverbed. Wrong. Huge earthworm. Daily reminder that turtles are not inside their shells. They are their shells. What's it called when you're introverted but have taken on numerous leaderships and outgoing roles your whole life? Introvertius. I'm here to help, but I would rather not. When Henry Cavill had to prove to his nephew's teachers that his uncle was in fact Superman, that boy looks determined. The ad on the train is going to trigger some people. Did you just spend 100k to get a 40k job? Why my hand shaky? Your skeleton is ready to hatch. This is so ominous, thank you. My bad, you're good. Is my favorite English language exchange. What about when people say, no yeah, that too. The USA Army once tried to make Nerf football hand grenades. Oregon man driving a stolen car crashes into a woman driving another stolen car. This is the romantic comedy I want to see this summer. In 1845, 79 people died in a bridge collapse over the River Pure because a large crowd had gathered to watch a clown in a bathtub be pulled upriver by 4 geese, the world before Netflix. Every 6 months, this man in South Dakota climbs this communication tower to change the light bulb. He is paid 20k per climb. Breastplate of a cavalryman struck by a cannonball or serving Napoleon. If you break a bone in your arm or leg, immediately repeat the injurious action on the other side. The pain of the broken bones will be much less than knowing your injury lacks symmetry, thus restoring balance and harmony. Elephants in Cambodia have learned to exploit their right of way and stop passing sugarcane trucks to steal a snack. I just love the lack of privacy in the pharmacy line, just standing there shouting out my name, date of birth, and exactly what is wrong with me for the world to hear. Let's go is the male equivalent of slay. This is causing immense controversy. Not gonna lie, that would be so attractive. I love pathetic men. Just imagine he's playing basketball, points at you and says, this is for you, and completely misses. My nephew has a new classmate from Zimbabwe, and upon discovering that Zimbabwe is in Africa, these kids are 6. The first thing everyone asked him is if he had been to Wakanda. His reply, no, there are force fields around it. This picture of a crow is interesting because it's actually a cat. In 2015, Godzilla became an official Japanese citizen and was also employed as a tourism ambassador of Japan. Instead of calling it a to-do list, I've started writing side quests at the top to make it seem more fun and interesting, and boy, has that not worked at all. Apparently, my kid got in trouble today for packing our toaster in his backpack and pulling it out at lunch to make Pop-Tarts for his class. I can't stop laughing. Decided to update my resume. I've done almost 100 things. I asked my roommate for an update on my cat Tofu, and she sent me this. Remember kids, if it's brown, lie down. If it's black, fight back. And if it's white, you are severely fucked. Me and my twin painting. This is insane. People who learn English as a second language as superheroes. Could you imagine looking up the word yacht and not just giving up? Name a game you're proud to have 100% completed. Hey, Ubisoft, why don't you name a game you have completed 100% before releasing? The guy I'm seeing is getting his haircut before he goes to the shelter to rescue a dog because he wants the dog to think his father is handsome. I don't care how ugly you are. If you're funny, you can bag any girl you want. Guess what? What? Chicken butt. One day last semester, I was on the bus heading to class and I was like, damn, class started 10 minutes ago. I'm going to be late again. And then I looked down and realized that my professor was in the seat in front of me editing his PowerPoints for the class that we were both supposed to be in. Homeless cats annoy me. The hell you want to be homeless for? Stop running away from me and get in my car. When I was giving CPR instructions on a 911 call, but forgot to hit my mute button and said, I'm pretty sure this one's dead. And the caller said, wait, what? I was in a 1v10 fight once. It was a hard fought battle and I had to go all out and use my martial arts skills. And in the end, we managed to beat the guy up. If you ever see me chuckling to myself, myself. It's because I'm thinking about this. Bobby has 4 dimes. Amy has 30 pennies. Which child has more money? Bobby, how do you know? Show your thinking. Bobby, the horrible truth behind marshmallow ranches. When they are fat from grazing all summer, they will be slaughtered to make smaller ones. Bogged and sold in stores. Some are cut up and held over a fire while still alive. We have never found a cave painting of a salad. What's your favorite thing someone else drew? Definitely this. How wood is cut. I have a common condition where I was born with 5 fingers on each hand. What is the weirdest thing a complete stranger has done for you? I got told to show me your bobs while in a crosswalk. The car had several guys in it. I did it and then they cheered. I'm a 6'2", 240 pound, very hairy man. It was an interesting experience. Anti-LGBT politician resigns after he's caught having a man in his office. If I were the United States president for a day, I would put all the frozen mini pizzas in a straight line and then explode an atomic bomb in one of the sides to see at which point they are perfectly cooked. When my daughter was 7 years old, she once interrupted a bedtime story to tell me, in a pie eating contest, it doesn't matter if you win or lose because you get to eat pie. I think about that a lot. Okay, so holy hell. I snapped my fingers, like, a lot, and I snapped them really good and loud, and this lady next aisle over replied as soon as I snapped, "I'm your good girl," and her husband said, "That wasn't me, babe. I am dead." I would never tell my girl to take down a sexy photo of herself off Instagram because it's too revealing. She's a grown woman and she can do whatever she wants with her body. I would just report the photo 20 times until Instagram deletes it. That possum is straight up casting a spell. I walked into my room and found this sitting on my bed. Thanks, Dad. Apparently my dad bought this for me because when I said, "I want a mango smoothie," this morning, he thought I said, "I want a watermelon to soothe me." Thanks, Dad. Well, at least he's caring. Girlfriend who spends 18 hours a day watching videos about dudes who ate their entire family. I don't know. I just feel anxious for some reason. The banana was once a perfect representation of phone shape. You could hold it up like, haha, hello, and make your friends die laughing. But these times are behind us. Phones are just rectangles now. We need a replacement food. I hereby nominate the ice cream sandwich. You are suddenly able to see numbers above people's heads which are counting down and you have no idea why. One person you meet reaches 0 and hands you a ravioli from their back pocket. The numbers. It's a ravioli countdown. You are the ravioli receiver. In the late 1600s, London was plagued by a sexual attacker dubbed Whipping Tom, who would spank his victims with his hand or something a rod and shout, "Spanko," before running away. Why do meteors always land in craters? I wonder. Scientists grow bigger monkey brains using human genes, replicating evolution. There is an entire genre of films based on how this is a bad idea. One day, a dude was like, "This is blue raspberry flavor," and we said, "Raspberries aren't blue," and he said, "Well, this is what they would taste like if they were," and we just said, "Oh, okay." Teenagers in Netflix series be like, "I'm 15 years old." Grimes and Elon Musk have a baby boy named. My wife just asked me if the bit.ly link was a part of the name, and I said I didn't know. You're the goat, and you're the cow that keeps on giving. It was a compliment, but okay. Oh, lol, sorry baby, you know I'm an old lady. You gotta give me a heads up. At my boss's funeral, kneeling and whispering at coffin, who's thinking outside the box now, Gary. I told this joke to my wife while she was using mouthwash, and she spit it out. How was he not humiliated? I love that The Weeknd looks like when a girl draws a beard on her face for a low-budget comedy sketch. Laser tagging is terrifying. They give you a 10-minute speech like you're going to enlist into the army. That little noise goes off when you start. It feels like you're running onto the beach on D-Day. Why is no one freaking out over Meta from Cars? This guy lives in a junkyard full of car parts, which wouldn't be that bad if he didn't exist in a universe of talking cars. He sleeps surrounded by discarded organs and hollow-out corpses. The plagiarism section of the syllabus is the same for every class, almost as if it was copied and pasted. Me, I really don't get why non-Floridans lose their shit when they see a beach. It's just sand and water, who gives a damn? Also me, sees one mountain. Ooh, holy, that's a big rock. The person has gotten 10 million Steam points from this one Steam review of Overwatch 2. The people who make Overwatch not safe for work harder than the people who make Overwatch. People often say they hope their deceased pet is chasing squirrels in doggy heaven. What did all of those squirrels do to deserve an afterlife of torment? Dog heaven is also squirrel hell. It's a very efficient system. I can't stop laughing at the thought of squirrels sinning so much in the mortal plane that they have to be sent to squirrel hell to atone. They know that the bird feeder isn't meant for them. The skull of a Dinocrocoutus gigantea, a huge hyena from the Miocene that was 3 times bigger than the modern spotted hyena. If a service dog without a person approaches you, it means the person is down and in need of help. Follow the dog and you will get a free purse or a wallet. Crocodile has failed to mate for 46 years because of his small pee-pee. I'm only 35. I have my whole life ahead of me. Sports broadcaster Toronto. Here comes the oldest player in the league. He's 32. A miracle. If Toad wore a beanie, which way would he wear it? Right. Once dated a girl who would eat a whole cake 3 bites at a time over the course of 3 weeks. And when she ran out of cake, she would go to the store to get a replacement cake. I went to the cake store with her one time, and her picture was on the wall. It was the only picture. Dying at BBC News. The presenter was talking about the supermoon, and there was supposed to be a picture, but it did not appear. So she held her hands up in a circle and said, "It looked a little bit like that." Every time I hear people talking about NFTs, I think of this. Dear Jane, I do not have enough money, so I am sending you this drawing I did of a spider instead. I value the drawing at $233, so trust that this settles the matter. Regards, David. I'd like a Purge movie where they deal with the awkwardness on the next day. You turn up at work and everyone is asking where Bob from Sales is. You admit you killed him during the Purge. Makes a ton of shitty movies. Makes one where you prove you're a good actor. Uncut Gems. Resume making shitty movies. Refuse to elaborate further. Americans rebuilding their houses right after they got blown away in a hurricane with the same materials that caused the houses to get blown away. Selling my cow. He ain't moved yet, but I think he's Spanish. A malfunction causes red wine to flow from faucets in a Italian town. Guys, I'm literally fucking shaking. Since Mayhem is an apocalypse-themed skin, that means she has not taken a bath in a long time. This means her feet must... What the fuck? I just grabbed the last piece, stuffing it all in my mouth, and said with my mouth full, as I picked up my newspaper to leave. There it was, my pastry. I've been eating a complete stranger's food. I was the weirdo. Today, this guy was trying to find his wife in Fred Meyer, and he yelled, "Marco," and she yelled, "Polo," and he looks at me and says, "That came from the wine section, didn't it?" And oh my god, I think I just saw my actual future. My dad seriously sent this to our family group chat. I can't keep up with the pressure of always having to lol or like everyone's random thoughts, pictures, and amusements for all future texts. I love them, laugh at them, or like them. Unless it's bad, then I dislike them. In perpetuity. I can't live with this pressure. I'm out. Are these the only two options? In the last 5 years, Melissa has spent over 500k on psych oaks. That's enough money to buy 416 poodles. Sometimes I tell my mum I don't like something, and she goes, "No, you used to love this thing." And I ask when. When did I last express desire for this thing? And she goes, "When you were 4, you could not get enough of this thing." And I say, "Mother, I am 26. Mums be like, it's just a phase, then expect eternal permanency of the 4-year-old self. I know this is meant for a dog, but same. My personality, I am very shy, but I am also very food motivated, so I am just a few threads away from being your new best friend. Can I please have the fruit pancakes?" The what? There's nothing on the menu called fruit pancakes. The fresh fruit pancake, huh? This one points to menu. Say it. What? Say it. I'd like a rooty tooty. Say it like you mean it. I want a rooty tooty fresh. Every burger place has a burger called some shit like Beefy Daddy's Greasy Hog Melt. And you gotta say it with a straight face. In Target, little girl in checkout line. I'm gonna see a cow today. Me. Woo. Wow, that sounds so cool. Mom of girl, please ignore her. She's trying to say grandma, but she's heard me call her a cow today, and she won't stop repeating it. One time I texted a girl to let her know I ripped my pants, and what I said was, I fell and completely destroyed my pants. She thought I had fallen and pooped my pants. She was incredibly supportive, and it took 15 hours before we realized it was a miscommunication. I married her. My friend works 2 jobs and doesn't tend to specify which one he's talking about, so he will say stuff like, "A lady died at work today, and the rest of us have to play a fun little game called Nursing Home or Yankee Candle." Today he goes, "Someone threw a candle at me at work, and I think I can finally reliably pin down one of his antidotes, but nope, it was the wretched nursing home. We are having online class from now on, and the struggle is real. Took my robotics professor 15 minutes to unmute himself on Skype. Update, programming professor is streaming over Twitch with a gaming headset and a beer. What most on-brand thing I've ever seen. I saw a man pick up and carry 2 golden retrievers, large ones, one on each shoulder. He was saying, 'You always do this. You said you wanted to go for a walk,' as he picked them up. Me, looking at 900k houses with $76 in my bank. Interesting desois, but okay. Ollie has 2 settings, high alert and cozy. My mum has these Winnie the Pooh salt and pepper shakers on the stove, but Christopher Robin fell over, and it looks like he's having a breakdown while Pooh disassociates. Someone, Coca-Cola can remove rust from metal. Imagine what it's doing to your body. Me. Pfft. Getting rid of the rust, idiot. That's not how it works. I've been drinking soda and my body is rust-free. Not sure where you're getting your facts from. Many thanks to the anonymous student who told me on a course evaluation, your classroom charisma has all the captivating qualities of a houseplant, which I am certain would teach this course in a more engaging manner if given the opportunity. I had a colleague once who received this evaluation. If only I had 6 months left to live, I would want it to be spent in your class because it would feel like an eternity. In 2015, a woman named Jo Milne claimed she could smell Parkinson's disease. To test her, doctors gave her 12 shirts to smell. 6 of them were from Parkinson's patients. She correctly identified the 6 shirts, but also chose one from the controlled group. 8 months later, that person was diagnosed with ligma. In Lord of the Rings, they used a giant prop ring to help force perspective in these shots. Meet the Mona Lisa of the Prado, the earliest known copy of Da Vinci's best portrait. Similarity in the undersketch of the paintings indicate that this was very likely painted concurrently with the original Mona Lisa by a student of Da Vinci. The copy has eyebrows. Your response to a beautiful piece of artwork done by Leonardo da Vinci himself is, she's got eyebrows. Alright, all intelligent life has been lost. There is a method of growing rhubarb known as forcing, where the plant grows in complete darkness and is tended to in candlelight. It grows so quickly during this process that you can hear it grow. Doing something boring at 7 PM versus at 3 AM. The only thing keeping me sane is knowing that there's an animal called sea squirt, and they look like cute blobs that are surprised. Handful of tiny soda cans, each containing a few drops of pure flavor syrup. If added to a glass of water, the syrup turns into that soda. Imported straight from Minnesota. The 40 Elephants, a terrifying, violent, all-female gang from the Elephant and Castle who petrified London. They wore special tailored clothes, sewed with hidden pockets, and as a group, they would pour into the stores and plunder thousands in a matter of minutes. When I get married, my wife will be in the kitchen where she stays, and I will also be in there because it's also our bedroom. We live in a very small studio apartment because we are poor. Shout the hell out to my Uber driver last night who turned off the radio and asked, is it cool if I take a call? Then broke up with his long-distance girlfriend over the phone for the next 20 minutes. The wildest ride of my life, but ultimately, I think you both made the right choice. In 1731, King Frederick of Sweden was gifted a lion, one of the first lions in Scandinavia. When the lion died shortly after, it was given to a taxidermist, and this was the end product. The taxidermist and the museum keepers had never actually seen a lion before, and did not know how they were supposed to look. As a result, the resulting mount was especially anatomically inaccurate, most apparent in its face. Your $225 per night Airbnb, no entry after 10. Who left the back gate open? Why didn't you put the sheets in the wash? That's why we have a $600 cleaning deposit. Did you even read the instructions? Your $225 per night hotel. One boring room please. Right this way. If you feel ugly, just know that I think I've read this before, but yeah, it's something. Redditors with interesting hobbies. What do you do and why? I'm a male knitter. I took it up in honor of a very good friend who died suddenly on the eve of her 31st birthday because of an aneurysm. She would spend all year knitting scarves and hats for the homeless and needy to give out at Christmas. I inherited all of her knitting stuff and kept up the tradition in her honor. This morning, I was working on something and made an interesting metaphorical observation. The cutting discs used on this rotary tool are very brittle. You can break them with your fingers. However, mounted on a spindle and spun at thousands of RPM, those same fragile discs can cut through steel. So next time you're feeling weak or useless, consider that you may simply not be getting utilized properly, and that your true potential awaits. Now go out there and spin really fast. Life advice. A few days ago, I was walking past a basketball court, and a ball flew over me, and I did not flinch, caught the ball, threw it back to the guy, responded to his "thanks bro" with a nod. It was like a ghost of some guy named Chad took over me, so I didn't embarrass myself. A bro talked to me today, and it caught me off guard, but instead my voice rising an octave, it dropped an octave, and suddenly I was effortlessly speaking bro back to him. This resulted in a very positive interaction. Thanks Chad. Reblogged me to be possessed by Ghost Chad in honor of need, in your hour of need. I can't believe Americans on television really say rock, paper, scissors. Like, it's paper, scissors, rock. OMG, you Americans actually say rock, paper, scissors. Rebuttal this with whether you say paper, scissors, Oliver. Me normally. Linguistic differences are so interesting and cool. I love hearing different dialectic variations. Me reading paper, scissors, rock with my own 2 eyeballs. The Lord is testing me. Last night, my son had asked if I I have ever heard of a pillow fight. I said I had not, so he explained the premise and asked if I would play. I awkwardly held a pillow as he gave me some pointers through a smile that lit up the room. My first swing took him off his feet. He never saw it coming. So I'm sat in a busy cafe reading a book with a cup of tea and a pastry, and the lady opposite me, engrossed in her newspaper, has just taken a bite of my pastry. Will update. I've done the only thing I could do and ignored that it happened and taken a spoonful myself. Now she's pretending it didn't happen. This is tense. She's taking another bite. What the fuck? I'm staring at my phone like it's the only thing that exists. I'm going to take a bite again and move it closer to me. She beat me to it. She went for a double helping, and I swear she just slid the plate even closer to her. She's not even blinking. I've just looked her right in the eye and dragged the plate to my side. It screeched all the way across the table. She's looking at me like I'm a disease. Send help. Nobody is touching the pastry. There's about a mouthful left, but out of principle, I'm not going anywhere. I need to defend my pastry's honor. I'm going to have to leave soon. I will grab the last piece as I go. I paid for it after all. I asked my dad if I have ever made him cry in front of me before, because I don't remember ever seeing him cry. He said, once. He told me that when I was 3 years old, he laid out a pen, $1, and a toy of some sort in front of me. He wanted to see which one I would pick. I think that a lot of Chinese people do that. It represents what you will value the most when you grow up. Like the pen is intelligence, money is, well, money, and the toy is fun. He was just doing it out of curiosity and boredom. It was interesting for him to see which one I would pick anyway. He said that I just sat there and stared at the items. He sat across from me and waited patiently. According to him, I crawled towards them. He held his breath, and I pushed everything aside and went right into his arms. He did not realize that he was one of the choices, and that was the first and the only time I made him cry. Oh shit, now you made me cry. In December 1984, 3,000 beluga whales were struggling to breathe in small pools of open water in ice-covered waters off the coast of Russia. A wide ice pack that whales could not cross on a single breath trapped them. Admiral Makarov, an icebreaker's ship, was called to break a channel through the ice pack. At first they refused to follow the ship to open water. However, when the crew began playing classical music through the ship's loudspeakers, the whales finally followed the ship to the unfrozen sea, resulting in saving 2,000 whales in total, and the incident, dubbed as Operation Beluga,